I am officially in my third trimester. Hey everyone, welcome to this video. My name is Mallory and I'm really glad you're here for yet another pregnancy update. As you can see in the title, this is going to be 2 weeks combined into one video. So weeks 27 and 28. And it is very special because I am now in my 3rd trimester. I'm 2/3 of the way through this pregnancy. That's just insane. Like, we're mostly done. We're in the home stretch. We're on the last leg of this amazing journey called pregnancy. I mean, overall, if I could just like sum up everything in this video into one sentence, it would be everything is going so well. I could just end the video there. But of course, you guys want more details than that, and I want to share more details than that. But really, things have been going so well. You know, I know that every time I talk about my symptoms and the, you know, kind of the downsides of, not downsides, but the harder things of pregnancy. And I talk about that because I like being transparent and just sharing the good and the bad. And it's just really like normal pregnancy stuff. It's nothing that's out of the ordinary. But since we are going to share details, let's just jump right into the update. What we normally do is my statistics first, so my weight and belly size. But as you can see, the background is not my normal background. All of our stuff, and I'll talk about this later, all of our household goods have been packed up. And so we're now with loaner furniture from the army. With that being said, I have no idea what I'm weighing these days for either week because our scale is gone. I could have held it back, but I didn't think about that. Oh well, so no idea. I would have to go to the gym to weigh myself. But my belly circumference at the at the biggest point, like around the belly button, last week it was still 39 inches, and the week before that it was about 39 inches, so my belly didn't grow at all. And I also hadn't really gained any weight, or well, the week before that when I had the scale I didn't, so I don't know what my weight was last week. And then this week it grew a little bit and it was 39.5 inches. All right, let's move on to baby development. And just real quick, this is from the Bump app. For week 27, the Bump says the baby is the size of a head of lettuce. So like romaine, I guess, like 14.5 inches and almost 2 pounds. And then for week 28, he's the size of an eggplant, which I think I already had that for a week. It was from a different app. Or I kind of like semi-recently discovered this website, and I've kept forgetting to share it on these updates. It is called babysizer.com because I was looking for like manly baby size comparisons, just to look at something out, you know, like the fun, like the stuff for guys. It says baby is the size of a baseball cap. So that would be, the Bump says about 15 inches long. And since I did have a prenatal appointment yesterday, the doctor is estimating baby to be a little over 1 kilo, so 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. So he was saying like maybe 2.3 pounds. Again, that's just like an estimate, but that's right on track for what the apps say for this point in pregnancy. So all is well there. Let's talk about my symptoms. So for week 27, the aches and the pains continue. It's super normal at this point in pregnancy. I noted in my pregnancy journal that if I carry something like heavier, that I kind of feel it in my groin and lower belly area, like a pulling, like straining feeling. So I really probably shouldn't be lifting anything heavy. Baby boy continued to move around a lot, just lots of activity. Sometimes he makes these sudden movements that make my whole belly jump. I'm like, what are you doing in there? It's like he's jumping or something. It's really funny, and you can see my whole belly shake. Also, he does what seems like maybe shoulder rolls, because it's almost like it's slow motion, and it's like I was I was trying to like recreate it and like to show Mark like what it kind of feels like, but it's almost like he's like pressing against, you know, my innards, and just really slowly, and it's like this rolling, like slow undulating feeling, and it's really weird but cool, of course. So like I said, all of our stuff got shipped, packed up. All of our household goods got packed up and shipped out. They have left Germany already. We can track our stuff, which is really nice. And so they're on their way to California, and therefore we got this loaner furniture from the Army. And this is actually 2 twin beds put together, because you could either get 2 twin beds or a full bed, and 2 twins makes a king. So, and then it's nice that we don't like feel each other moving at night. But anyway, this bed is so uncomfortable, and it's sleeping when you're pregnant, especially when you get bigger, can get difficult, and sleeping on an uncomfortable bed just compounds that, but only about a week more in this bed. So that's nice. Okay, week 28, that is when you officially begin the 3rd trimester. So yay, that's exciting. So my symptoms for week 28, we were traveling almost my entire week 28. So we were in Italy, and I'll take this opportunity to talk a little bit about that trip. So we went to we flew from Frankfurt to Naples Airport, Italy, and spent about a week, like 6 days, in the Naples, Amalfi Coast area. So we stayed in the town of Sorrento, which is kind of like part of the Amalfi Coast. We traveled around, we went to Pompeii, so the ruins of Pompeii, that was really, really interesting. We also saw Herculaneum, which is another town that was buried by the Mount Vesuvius eruption in 79 AD. We drove along the Amalfi Coast. I don't recommend driving in Italy. Mark did all the driving. It took a lot of concentration. The roads are very treacherous, and there's a lot of scooters that weave in and out. So it's not the safest thing, but the Amalfi Coast was gorgeous. We went on a tour of the island of Capri and saw the famous Blue Grotto. And on our last day, right before coming home, we hiked up Mount Vesuvius. Yes, I hiked up Mount Vesuvius the day before I turned 28 weeks. So I was basically in my 3rd trimester and hiking up an active volcano. So that was pretty cool. Needless to say, I was very tired. We also took a day trip up to Florence, because we had never been to the Tuscany area. So we wanted to see Florence, and so that was fun, but we did a ton of walking and then the hike, and I was just so physically tired, especially after the hike. My round ligament joints, or my round ligaments, not joints, the ligaments were just so sore, and I was so stiff, and getting up from sitting was just really uncomfortable. But Mark was like, I'm really proud of how you just kept pushing on, and just kept going. And I'm like, I feel like my stamina is definitely not where it used to be. I mean, I'm carrying at least 20 extra pounds by this point, and have this thing sticking out, this big belly sticking out in front of me. But I think considering I'm in my 3rd trimester now, I think I did pretty well. I'm really glad we went. It was our last hurrah trip before we leave, before we move out of Europe. So it was good. Baby remained active, although I didn't feel him as much, I think because we were just so active, and I typically don't feel him when I'm walking around. Sometimes I do. That's starting to happen a little more. When I was still sitting, especially when we were at dinner or whatever. Italian food is so good. A lot of gluten-free options, but I would feel him then, and just, when I was resting, I'd feel him. So he also seems to get the hiccups almost daily. Sometimes it lasts a long time, 5 minutes. Okay, that's enough for symptoms and other random things. Cravings and aversions, nothing still. I just am trying to eat normal, trying to eat healthy. However, the Italian gelato, you can't pass that up. I definitely indulged several times on that, and things like panna cotta, very good. Now, the last category is something new. So week 27, I started knitting a baby blanket. So I got this yarn. This is the yarn I got. I bought it from a store here in Wiesbaden called ID, so IDEE, and it's a German craft store, and they have yarn, and it's this luxury alpaca. It's an alpaca blend, so it's 63% alpaca and 37% polyamide, so I guess polyester maybe, but it's super soft. It was, I think, a little cheaper than pure alpaca, but it still wasn't cheap. But I thought this blue was just so pretty for baby boy, and I found a pattern online. I will link it in the description box if anyone is a knitter. I haven't knitted in a little while, but I think I was reading an email I got. I think it was from momsmartnothard.com, and they were saying that doing like projects like knitting, that's like part of the nesting instinct, and it does kind of like quench that urge to nest, because like obviously I can't nest when all of our stuff is gone. So the knitting is helping with that. But anyway, I will link the pattern. It's just free online. I just Googled baby blanket patterns. So this is what it looks like. So that's the pattern. I don't know how well it is gonna show up on the video, but it's gonna be quite large. It's circular needles. This is only the second time I've used circular needles. But anyway, I've done all of this in about a little over a week. So I did a lot of knitting on our trip. And then, I also made my first appointment with my new doctor in California. He's an OBGYN, an MD, and it's gonna be the morning after we arrive in California. So we land in San Francisco at like 9 p.m., which for us is gonna feel like 9 hours early, like ahead. It'll feel like 6 a.m. for us. So it'll be like we're getting up. Anyway, and then my appointment is at 8:15 in the morning the next morning. So I will be pretty tired. And the lady at the front desk said, I highly recommend you take this because it can usually take 4 to 5 weeks for a new patient to get in to see the doctor. And I was able to get in within 3. So that was good. And I believe it's around this time, third trimester, that you start seeing your doctor every 2 weeks. So it will have been 2 weeks between my 2 prenatal appointments, from my German doctor to my US doctor. All right. So for week 28, for something new, I had my 7th and final prenatal appointment with my German OB. Nothing abnormal to report, thankfully. We went over my labs. He was like, your gestational diabetes test was perfect. If you watched my last video, you know how I was like kind of freaking out over that a little bit. He checked to make sure that I'm not at risk for preterm labor. Everything checked out. I'm cleared for our long, almost 12-hour nonstop flight to California in 2 weeks. Baby is breech currently. If you remember my last appointment, he was head down. But like I've said, he's a mover. I believe that he is sometimes transverse, which means that they're sideways across your belly, because sometimes I feel something really hard. Usually it's on my right side. Actually, I feel it now. So oh no, I feel hardness on the right side and below my belly button. So what the heck? Maybe it's like his head and his butt. Maybe he's like diagonal. I don't know. This kid is already all over the place. The doctor said to not worry. It's nothing to worry about, because only 5% of babies stay in the breech position up until birth. And there are things that you can do to help the baby move into proper head down position. But he also kept his arms up by his head, he was kind of like that last time too. And he just kept his arms and hands by his face. And so we couldn't get a good picture of him. We were gonna try for 3D again, and it just didn't work. And we couldn't even get a normal picture, ultrasound picture of his face. So we have a picture of his heart. But his heart is beating. We listened to his heartbeat. It sounds great. He checked my uterine arteries, which are pumping great. The doctor estimates that baby will be of average size because he's measuring on track, like average. So probably 7 something pounds. I was 8 pounds, 11 ounces. I was 5 days late. Although we all know due dates is not a hard science. My husband, he was an identical twin. He was a mono twin, which means he shared the same sac and the same placenta as his identical twin, which is the most, well, other than conjoined twins, is the most rare and dangerous type of twin. They have a not very high rate of survival, period. But their mom went full term with mono twins. And Mark was, I think, like 6 pounds, 8 ounces. And his twin was like 6 pounds something. I forget who was bigger. I think Mark might have been a little bigger. But he was a big, their mom was carrying almost 14 pounds of baby. So Mark was a really healthy size for a mono twin. So I'm hoping that our baby will be somewhere in the middle range between the two. So I did something that you want to make sure you do if you are switching doctors midstream or 2/3 stream. It's really weird. I was telling my mom that it's really weird to be changing doctors when I'm like almost done with my pregnancy. But you know, that's how military life goes. So if that is you, make sure that you get all of your paperwork. I do have my Mutter pass, which everything's in German in there, but the doctor said if the new doctor needs anything to just email, and he can email something. But I did collect all of my lab work. So because the labs are in German, I need to take them to TRICARE, which they will do a free translation. They do free translation for dependents and for soldiers. So get those translated so that I can show them to my new doctor. He will want to see those, but I mean, they're all normal, so nothing extraordinary there. And I'm also excited about the hospital I'm going to be delivering at. I ended up having to go with a different doctor than I originally intended because that original doctor actually does not take private insurance. He only takes California state insurance, which really surprised me. But anyway, that doctor, he delivers at 2 different hospitals in the area. But the one I had my eye on delivering at, that seemed like my first choice, this doctor that I ended up going with, he only delivers at not that hospital, the other one. But I was looking at it online, and it actually sounds like a really nice hospital. Of course, I'm not going to say the name on here. For now, I'm trying not to say the exact city we're moving to, although maybe at some point I will. But this particular hospital sounds great. It's a baby-friendly hospital. You get to labor, deliver, and recover in the same room. They have a lot of apparatus for for birthing. They encourage unmedicated births if that's what you want to do, or they welcome and support that. So yeah, it sounds like a really nice hospital. So, and it'll be less than 10 minutes from where we are going to live. We need to schedule a hospital tour. We need to start on my online birth class. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I know this has gotten rambly, but I had a lot to share, and I'm just really happy to be in the 3rd trimester already. It's crazy. And we're gonna be moving to California really, really soon. Thank you guys for joining me, and I welcome your comments. Please leave your comments down below. Give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe if you are not already. Forgot to say that at the beginning, but I would love to have you as part of my YouTube tribe here. And if you want more live updates, you can follow me on Instagram, Warrior Life Wellness. I'd love to see you over there too. All right, until the next video, take care everybody. Bye.